Good day to you. So, today on the Daily Dose, the second day of the Daily Dose, I wanted to talk about morning routines. The morning, the place you become you from the sleep you needed to regenerate into the you that is you today. Hopefully with a bit more wisdom and experience than the day before. But we can't have it all. For me, the morning is the most important part of the day. If it starts off badly, for me, it generally ends badly. Or I just feel like I could have done more. And I think through the day, whatever you're doing, you have to work on three things. And that's your mind, your body, and your soul, or your intellect. And I'm just going to go over the things I do in order to help this. And if they can help you, or if any of these methods would be beneficial to you, feel free to hit me up, and I'll go into more of a detail on each one. And it's only since sort of COVID really that I started having some sort of anal routine that I have to stick to every week. But for me, it makes me feel good to be balanced. And also how you enter the day, I think, is important. How you start feeling good. You know, it's preparation, I suppose. Whenever you go into something that you've got to do is stressful, I think there's always got to be preparation behind that. And I thought it would be good to talk about it today because it's something I'm also struggling with. I can't seem to get up, but getting up for me is waking up at 5 a.m. and then probably snoozing till 6, and I feel frustrated. And the alpha state you wake up in is such a way of persuading you, you don't need to wake up. You should hit the snooze button. Even though you've hidden your alarm on the cupboard opposite your room that you have to get out of bed just to turn it off. Only then to look around to see your bed and just how fucking cosy it looks. But resist, so get back in and the day is yours. And once I'm up, I have a mat on the floor which makes it easy and makes no excuse. Make my bed religiously, fold it. I fold it kind of military, which it doesn't look too great, but it's like a roll at the end, and then I put a little blanket, dirty rich blanket over the top of it and 2 pillows lined out. I do that religiously first because then there's no way of getting back in. Be far too much effort. Most people, you know, you might be just up, showered, shit, tea, gone to work. I'm a bit privileged, I would say, in that fact I don't have to rush anywhere apart from 50 foot down the garden and I'm at work. So, but I didn't mind the commute and the reading the book and staring at people on the train sometimes. But for now, this is where I'm at, and this is the routine that I can do. So, hopefully if I've woken up at 5 a.m, I'll start with the body, because I feel you got to wake it up. And sometimes I'll start with a warm pint of water, and then I'll stretch for about 15 minutes from my neck all the way down to my feet, really. And I'll do some spinal stretches, some body warm up, and then I'll do a kind of one set of an ab workout to try and get this never-ending six-pack. It's just always been a 4-pack, but eventually I reckon the end of this year I might actually have one. Who knows? So I do that to start, and that wakes up all the organs and all the body, and sometimes I even hit on my chest and hit on parts of my body to wake up the organs inside. That's quite a good method as well. Oh, makes you feel a bit like a gorilla in the morning, which isn't too bad. King of the jungle. And then after sort of I've woken up a bit more, I still feel a bit hazy. I then do breathwork, which I don't know if anyone's heard of Wim Hof, but the guy is pretty mad. He climbed Everest in shorts. I think he nearly lost his toes, but he still climbed Everest in shorts. But he believes in a breathing method, which most people have called it now the Wim Hof breathing method. But it's mainly based around pranayama breathing. But the method itself involves 3 basic steps, which is controlled hyperventilation, which is where you take 30 deep, powerful breaths inward, inflating the lungs each time. You then follow by passively releasing that air. It's pretty much like, and then simply allowing it to naturally escape before another deep breath each time. And you do this for 30 times, and then you hold your breath. And sometimes I can hold my breath for 3 minutes. And it will be like, oh, that's bollocks, mate, you can't do that. But I do. And the more you practice, the more it becomes. And you do rounds. So I usually do about 12 minutes, which is about 3-4 rounds. So you do 30-40 breaths in and out, hold for as long as you can, and then you release that air. Actually, you breathe out firstly all the air at the end, and then you hold your breath. So there's no air in your body. You know when you usually go swimming and you're a kid in the pool, and you breathe in and then you let the oxygen out as you're going. You actually do this the opposite way, and you have all the oxygen out of your lungs, which to me is nuts, because you're laying there and sometimes it's like 2-3 minutes and I'm like, fucking hell, am I not dead? Am I alive? And I mean, the benefits for this are kind of endless. I mean, I find it quite mad that I'm 31 and I'm learning how to breathe. But it pumps vital oxygen around the body. It's known for lowering blood pressure. Gives you an energy rush. Better brain function and focus. Boosts the immune system. Improves cognitive function. And helps with working with cold therapy as well, which I'll get to, which is like cold showers, or athletes have ice baths, because when you get in you have that shock of whereas this is so. I mean, the guy was injected with E. coli by scientists, and through this method, and him being a kind of Superman, he actually rejected it from his body, and the scientists were obviously like, well, we've seen that proof, but we actually need more. We need more facts. So he then demonstrated with, I think it was 6 or 9 average Joes, to do the same and learn his method. They didn't know it before. Learn his method over a month or 2 months of training, in which the outcome was exactly the same. So, facts, people. The body, to me, is very intelligent, and I think it takes a very long time if you haven't gone into sort of being an athlete or being in any kind of industry where you have to really work with it, because you do have to really, really work with it to understand it, I think. Because most of the time it's doing all the work for you. The blood's going around the body, the heart's pumping, the brain is pulling out all sorts of thoughts which you don't want or do want, or it's annoying you half the time with depression, or it's great and it's happy. But at the end of the day, it's sitting in a skull in darkness, and it's only the eyes that are allowing you to see what's going on. So, but that's another daily dose. But I just think it's interesting that this isn't general knowledge to the Western world a lot of the time, that breathing can help with anxiety, stress, everything really. So yeah, that's what I do to start off with the body. And then I feel I'm in a better position to meditate. So this is probably about half an hour from waking up. And meditation for me is the quiet moment where nothing but the presence is really there. Even if you're thinking about yesterday or tomorrow, you're still thinking about it now. So it's where I can connect, I suppose, with myself, or the higher self, the source, or Morpheus. And there's just many benefits as well. If you haven't tried meditating, I mean, most people just think, well, what am I doing? Just fucking sitting here, But the idea is to just sit there, just stop doing what you're doing for a bit, and just be still. Take it in, taking the sounds. You know, your mind never sleeps, and meditation for me is the mind's time to sleep, and connect with the body as well. Or if you want to go way out there and connect with the source or whatever it may be, you know, there's astral projection, there's Akashic records, there's loads of different wacky shit on that side. But for me, I just sit, sometimes see colours, I breathe, you know, but I just get into the zone and just chill the fuck out. And the thoughts I find, they rise and they fall, and after a while they just fall and they don't come back, and you're not, you know, the anxiety's gone that you might have about a problem, or, you know, and 20-30 minutes of meditation is really good. And the benefits are, you know, less stress, better sleep. I find if you meditate for an hour a day, you need less sleep, because the body doesn't need as much sleep as the mind, because the mind's still dreaming and working through the night. You know, it's putting your memories in certain spots or whatever it's doing. So, but I find I need a lot less sleep if I meditate every day. Less anxiety, as I said, able to process emotions better, also increases melatonin, which helps with so many health benefits, including tumours or cancerous cells or anything like that. You know, the benefits are unreal. So I will go into more of these things on different daily doses, and maybe I'll do one on meditation or just on breath work, but I thought I'll kind of throw in a few things I do. Sometimes I'd even do frequency sounds meditations, or crystal meditations, or hypnosis. So there's fucking shitloads. So the more time you spend in the shed, the more time you start to learn about yourself. So once I've done that, I feel kind of mentally and bodily prepared. So I've got my mind and my body in the right place, so to speak. I then work out for about 40-50 minutes. I've got like a pull-up station and everything else, because I think you need to get a lot of energy out of your body sometimes. And then 3 times a week I'll run. So, and I think running is really good physically but mentally as well, because a lot of the time if you're doing 10k or something, you're hitting a point where your body's just saying fuck off, not today. And then after that I have a freezing cold shower, so just to really look after myself. And yes, I mean freezing, like there's not one, the hot tap is off. And again, look into cold showers, but the benefit is unreal. And I think the main thing is your immune system, but also you feel energized. It's like when it's boiling hot and you jump in a cold shower, you feel refreshed. It does that in the morning. I even do these in the winter. But yeah, have a research. It's Wim Hof, the breathing exercise is kind of 2 and 2 goes with it, because you know, it's the whole shock of cold water. You need to learn how to breathe through it. I mean, this guy swims in the Arctic. Like, he was known for swimming through the canals. I think in Amsterdam. You know, he went through a very stressful time when he was younger, because his wife jumped off a roof top, and he had 4 kids. So he had to learn, rather than going to drink and drugs and everything else, he had to learn a way to deal with that stress. So I think through great problems you see great processes and efforts being put in another direction to help people like that. And I think if you do these things on a day-to-day basis, they can really help you with all the stresses we're all under at the minute. You know, the maybe freedoms we might have soon, and the maybe nots, and you know, it's all just a bit much. So I think if you have a good solid routine in the morning, it can really help you. And again, if any of these things sound interest to you, just drop me a message, and you know, I'm more than happy to sort of go into them in a lot more detail. But until tomorrow, that's it on my morning routine, and some of the things I do to help me, you know, enter the fucking world that we're in. So enjoy your day. Peace.